It's a Dani Cutler Show on independent radio, KWSS 93.9 FM, and streaming at kwss.org. I have a guest with me right now. If you're listening on 93.9 FM, you can't see her lovely face yet, but you can go and check out the entire interview on our social media after the fact and get to know Ann Cabano. Thank you so much for joining me, Ann.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I don't know why I suddenly got nervous.
Oh, no, please don't be nervous. Just pretend we're just sitting having coffee. Just, it's all good. Ann is the director of one of the music videos that is selected for this year's Indie Film Fest, which is happening February 10th, 11th, and 12th in downtown Phoenix. And I was so pleasantly surprised to learn that it's another local connection to artist Teneia. So it's Teneia's video that Ann directed. So very excited about that. And it's a beautiful video. We will get to that in just a moment, but I want to just backtrack a little bit. And Ann, give us some background on your filmmaking history.
Well, I am a documentary filmmaker, primarily independent documentary filmmaker. Local Tempe Yay. Is where I live, and yeah, I focus on social awareness issues primarily. I like to have the hard conversations, so my films are typically talking about very difficult topics rather than happy topics, but they always have an element of hope and healing to them. I have a background in the holistic arts, and so I have what my medicine is, because it could be someone else's too, but I combine like my background in mind, body, spirit connection with healing within, tools for healing as applied to trauma and those types of things. And so this music video is really a sort of part of what I do in the world, but it's also, this one is a happy piece, which is what I love.
Yeah. What are some of the topics that were the subject of some of your films?
Well, I currently have a film right now that I feel like is what I consider, in my terms, pretty successful. It's about a woman that was raised in a cult and she was trafficked. It's called The Box, and it actually just yesterday was released on a streaming site, and so that's pretty exciting. Yeah, it's about a woman named Maddie Caballo, and she was raised in a cult, and she was trafficked. She was born to be trafficked, and she experienced trauma, complex trauma, PTSD, complex PTSD, and DID, and so we explore those topics. It was designed as a training video, and we went ahead and went forward a little bit more with it to make it sort of a documentary.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is a deep subject. But at the same time, so very, very important to tell those stories and just make people more aware of the struggles and the hope that can come from these hard times. I mean, I've had a traumatic childhood myself, and you only grow and become stronger from your experiences.
Hopefully
not everybody does, but that is what I think is so wonderful about having indie films out there and documentaries like yours, because that's what gives people the hope, because they can see that I'm not alone.
That's exactly it. It is about that.
Yeah. So how did you meet Teneia?
Well, interestingly enough, I met Teneia. She was one of my students when I was teaching at the local holistic college, and that's how we originally met, and I've known her for years. And this is not the first project that I've done with her. I've probably done, maybe 5 or 6 projects with her. But I also love her to death. She's one of my dear friends too.
Oh, she's an amazing person and just so full of love and light. And yeah, I mean, when I met her, I said before we started recording, I've known her probably 6-7 years now, and from the moment I met her, just instant love.
No, she is such a bright light.
Yeah,
she's a huge bright light.
Absolutely. So the name of the video and the song is Freedom, and it's Teneia's song. So how did this collaborate? I mean, you've collaborated before, but so I'm sure it was easy. Teneia probably was like, okay, I want you to do this video.
Yeah.
Where did the idea for what the video shows us, where did that come from? Did it come straight from the lyrics? How did this come about?
Yeah, well, she reached out to me. I actually went through a tragedy recently and I sort of took a little time off. The tragedy was I lost my son.
Oh,
And so she reached out and she said, "Are you ready to do something?" And so I thought, yeah, I'm ready. I'm gonna do something. And I actually credit this video for helping to remind me that I am actually a filmmaker, because it was a creative project and I trust her and love her. And so she sent me the song and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like an anthem for pride, because this is all about the LGBTQ community. And um, Teneia is very passionate about that topic. Dadrian, who is Daylove, the
mhm.
rapper in this video, is very passionate about that, and I am as well. And all three of us are part of that community. And for me, this was just a super important message. And we actually collaborated on the Pride video last year for it's the State Department's American Music Abroad and the State Department, and they're the ones that
Oh,
sponsored it. And so she reached out again and said, "We did it last year. We had such a great time. Are you ready? Are you ready to
yeah.
flex your creative muscles?" And freedom was born.
Wonderful. Oh, that's wonderful. And I'm so terribly sorry that happened, but it's also, our art heals, or
Art
at
does
least,
so.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, this video is definitely, I mean, uh, you're about to hear the song. Anyone who's listening on 93.9 right now, you're going to hear the song in the spotlight when this interview ends. But please go and see the video, especially at the Indie Film Fest. Friday and Saturday. I know that Thursday is sold out, but Friday and Saturday it will be screening. And you just see the video basically is just every identity represented beautifully, and everybody just, it's just love and happiness and dancing, and it just makes you feel good to watch it as much as it makes you feel good to listen to it. So well done. It's a beautiful video.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Did you have this concept in your mind originally, or did Teneia bring it to you?
So what's really fun, Tania is very sorry, Tania is very specific about the ideas that she wanted and or wants in general. Anytime you work with her, she's a very creative individual, and we work together very well. And she came to me with this song, and she was going through a series of difficulties. Like, I think she hurt her back, or something else happened, and that caused her to be like, one day she just came to me and said, in the middle of us starting to create the video, and she's like, I just like, basically she's like, I'm just going to put this in your hands, because I you know I love you and I trust you, and I keep going through all this stuff. And of course I did not want to let her down, because I just respect her as a
Mhm.
human and an artist. And I just felt like I know her, and so I know her energy,
Right.
and I wanted to represent the energy of who she was. And so it was really important to flex the word diverse,
Mhm.
especially with this song,
Yeah.
especially with this song. And dancing and love and light. And I mean, primarily I pulled everything together and I edited it, and I also did the editing on it. Um, and I wanted some of her quirky, like, she is so cute on camera.
Yes.
you know, and I wanted her to, because we filmed this isn't different, we're in different states when this is going on. We never did anything face to face,
Yeah.
you know, because the time and, you know, our location and the deadline that we had.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I just told them, you know, these are the shots, get close to your face, far away, and the rest of it I just pulled together, like, you know.
That's
So
fantastic. That is just, I mean, that's so wonderful because, I mean, it looks like you're just taking all these clips and that you were there.
yeah, right,
So,
right,
but so yeah, so it's fantastic. And yes, she is, I mean, the way she presents herself on camera, I mean, beautiful,
yeah,
beautiful. So
yeah,
yeah, but
I love.
yeah, so that's going to be at the Indie Film Fest Friday night at Roosevelt Row Welcome Center. That's when KWSS will be out there, and you'll get to see this video, as well as the other music videos and short films and the short documentaries. All that is playing on Friday, and again Saturday at the awards ceremony at the Irish Cultural Center. So it's going to be a really fun weekend. As a director and as a filmmaker, what is the importance of having something like the Indie Film Fest?
Oh my gosh, I think that, like, first of all, this is a fabulous fest.
Yeah.
Like, I just really appreciate the work that they're doing to really highlight and give independent filmmakers an opportunity to have a voice beyond just like something screening, because there's not opportunity. There's a lot less opportunity for independent filmmakers. Now, that being said, I do love independent film and some of the roles that we can break, essentially, as in what we can get away with. But there's nothing more thrilling than to have, for me anyway, and I don't think I'm alone in this thought, to like pour all of your heart and soul into some type of creative expression, and then like have some festival say, hey, we dig this and we're going to put it on this great big huge screen, and not only that, bunch of people are going to sit and watch it with you, right? And I don't know, that's sort of the celebration to me. And if we don't take the time to celebrate the work that we do, we're missing the point, in my opinion. And
Yeah.
so I just think I think you get much more opportunity. You get to collaborate. You get to, you know, meet new people. You get to be in touch with maybe people that are across the country. You know, I can give you a perfect example of how independent film festivals work and indie film festivals. I had one of my films screened just recently in Mesa. And then I had a woman from Florida contact me and say, I really think you should put this film in this film festival. So we did that. We put that film in that film festival because it was not one we were aware of. And it was a whole conference around the topic. The next thing you know, we get selected to go in that film festival. And then we go on to win an award at the festival. And that makes a connection for the woman in the film that then gets to go and speak about the topic.
Yeah.
And that would never have happened without these types of opportunities. And so I am a huge, huge fan of film festivals. I always put my stuff, enter into film festivals. I don't always get selected. That's part of the process, right? Rejection
Exactly.
part of the process.
But
So
it's still putting more eyes on it, even if you're not selected. You know, I mean, there's a whole committee that is seeing your film,
correct.
and even if it's not selected, you know, individual people might have different ideas about things. And I mean, of course, you want it selected because more eyes, but it's still just getting you out there, you know, and it creates, just like you said, all of these opportunities. Like at this Indie Film Fest, before the screening at the Welcome Center, there's the mixer at the Churchill. So all the filmmakers, artists, actors, everybody who's involved can go there, and it's just this big fun casual networking event so that everyone can meet, exchange cards, talk about this, that, and you know, I'm excited to see what might come of that.
Me too.
Yeah.
Networking is where it's at. Word of
Yeah.
mouth is where it's at. I mean, even an independent business of any kind, it's always about word of mouth. And
Mhm.
how else do you build your resume? Because if you're really trying, to have film as a career, or video production, or even editing as a career, there's a lot. It's really about the right place and the right time,
Yeah.
and obviously like a fantastic budget and
Well,
skills.
of course. But that's the other nice thing about this festival, is that budget isn't the top priority. I mean, you could put a selection that you did entirely on an iPhone and it could still be considered just as easily as, $100,000, $500,000 budget. Because that's what this festival is about, because, Maddie and the team saw the need for it and the importance of the low budget as much as the high budget.
Correct.
Because it's about the message, it's about what you're trying to get out there.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I love this festival personally so much, because it encompasses that independent belief and that everybody deserves that equal playing field.
It's so true. And this festival in particular, like, I am so excited to be part of this festival. I'm not just saying that because we're talking about, like, I mean
Yeah.
it. I see all the work they're doing, and like they have this, like, here I am talking to you, and then like I'm doing something called a pink carpet interview.
Yeah.
And then they're creating like a grant that they're going to award. I mean, that is, I really, really am so happy to be part of this festival, because it really is. I can clearly see and experiencing firsthand that this is designed to really support independent filmmakers.
Yeah.
And we need more of that. How else do we get such wonderful opportunities? And I am just so stinking grateful. I can't even tell you.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well spoken. Well spoken. I mean, nothing else we can say about that. So the video and the song is called Freedom by Teneia, and you're about to hear it right now in the 939 local spotlight. And if you're watching this on Zoom, definitely go look it up and come out to the Indie Film Fest to see it on a larger screen. And Anne, thank you so much for joining me for a little while today.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And it was
How?
great with you.
Yes, and before I forget, how can people go and learn more about you or check out maybe some more of your work?
Oh, sure. Thank you. My website, AnneCabano.com. There's a blurb about pretty much every project that I've been on. Plus, I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter too, but I really don't.
I hear that from everybody. I'm on Twitter, but
I'm on Twitter, but it's not very active over there.
I love it. Wonderful, wonderful. And yes, and you can also check out all of Teneia's music, Teneia's music at I think it's Teneia Music on Facebook and Instagram, and you can hear on KWSS as you're about to right now with the 939 local spotlight on 93.9 FM KWSS. This is Teneia and Freedom.